Hey, Hugh Hewitt here for Gulliver's Restaurant in Irvine. It's a special place, whether it's a birthday and anniversary or a quick business lunch. At Gulliver's, you can always count on the great food, a wonderful, festive atmosphere, the best welcome in the business. It's always special at Gulliver's because of the meat. Their famous prime rib is especially cooked every day, just you like it. They've also got a great New York strip, a delectable pepper-crusted ribeye. Go for the meat. Yeah, fresh king salmon, fresh catch of the
time for The Pet Show with America's favorite pet expert, Warren Eckstein. Warren is the author of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want and How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. He's here to answer all your pet and animal questions. And now, Warren Eckstein.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to The Pet Show. Is your schnauzer acting a little shy? Does your rescued feline have you in a total frenzy? Are you being pushed around by your little pug? Well, if you love animals, I'm assuming you do, care about wildlife and the environment, and truly want to understand how your dog's thinking and why they behave the way they do, or if you just want to improve their behavior or make their lifestyle a little bit happier, you know what to do. Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those little buddies with you, folks, because it is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Ever-Growing Pet Show family, and you should, if you want to find out why your dog is not listening, why your cat is not using the litter box, why you take your dog for a walk and he goes nuts when he sees another dog, you got a new cat and the cat that lives with you is not thrilled about it, you get the idea. That's what we deal with here on the Pet Show every single week and have been dealing with over 43 years, is helping people like you really resolve any issues you might be having with your pets. But as I say every week, a lot more likely, the bigger issue is the issues your pets may be having with you. Let's face it, it is not easy living with human beings. Take it from me, I know. As always, plenty of time for your calls, lots of pretty amazing stuff to give away. If you're new to the show, just a reminder that everyone that calls into the show that hasn't called for a while and gets to talk to me live on the air will get an absolutely phenomenal gift. Not for you, but for that beautiful dog or cat we talk about every week. So if you have a question or a comment, want to share a great story, I say that every week, and a lot of people don't understand why I do that. If you have rescued a dog or rescued a cat, maybe an older dog or an older cat, maybe you did it years ago, a dog or cat that couldn't find a home, I want to hear from you guys as well, because very often your story encourages other people to say, you know what? Maybe adopting an older pet is the right thing to do. So if you have a story to tell, I'd love to hear it from you. As I said, if you get through to me live, I'll send you a great gift. So great time to give me a call here on The Pet Show, by the way. The phone number here at The Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-KRLA. But perhaps you're more into numbers. That's 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away, including my own Hugs and Kisses. Yeah, they're back in stock. Kitty Lickies back in stock. Lucy Pet Food, we have that available. We have T-shirts, copies of my best-selling book. So everyone that calls in will, in fact, get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. So let me tell you what I have planned for today's show. Although, Warren, come on now. Why do you do this? Why do you write all this stuff down? You know you're not going to get to all your subjects. But just a reminder, if for some reason I'm talking about a topic and I don't get to it because I'm taking your phone calls, just remember, you can always go to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein and see a lot of the topics right there. Again, the number here, by the way, at The Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. And if you want to see the face behind the microphone, I don't know why, but if you want to, you can. We're broadcasting live on my YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. And by the way, I will take some questions on YouTube. If you have a question or comment, feel free to share it on YouTube as well. It's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, or if you prefer calling, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. All right, so let me tell you what I have planned for today's show. First of all, I'm broadcasting today from beautiful, beautiful Arizona, where it's been raining for the last day or two. Yeah, I come to Arizona to the desert and it starts to rain. That's just the story of Warren's life. But I got to tell you, Molly and Willie are really liking the weather here. They're really getting into it. They're really adjusting to it just well. Anyway, here's what's coming up on today's show. Now, very often on the show, and I wrote this down because I want to share my topics with you guys. Very often on the show, we talk about training. We all want a well-behaved dog. Let's face it. We all want our dog to listen to us, don't we? But there are many, many different approaches to training your dogs. So what is the right type of training for you and your dog? The right type of training for you and your dog. Anyone ever hear the term LIMA, L-I-M-A? What does LIMA stand for, and how does it relate to your dog's training? LIMA, L-I-M-A, we're going to talk about that. Really important for anyone who has a dog out there that's considering training their dog, and everyone should spend the time educating their buddy as well. So we're going to talk about training, the different approaches, and I'm going to talk about LIMA, by the way, an approach that I approve of. Also coming up, I didn't get to it last week. What a shock. But I will share what your favorite felines have in common with Major League Baseball, and it may not be what you're thinking. So we're going to talk about that. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of educational as well. But what does your favorite feline and Major League Baseball have in common? We'll talk about that coming up on the Pet Show a little bit later. But in the meantime, if you have a question or a comment, great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone number. Also coming up, how many times do people call me on the show and say, Warren, I don't get it. I'm sitting down, I'm watching TV, and I have one of those dogs that goes absolutely crazy when he sees a dog or any other animal on television. Why is that? Why does my dog go crazy when he sees an animal on TV? Well, before you blame it on the dog and think that you got to correct them, hear me out on this coming up a little bit later. Also, St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, so it's Warren O. Eckstein today. And so I'm going to talk about some Irish animals as well. I'll tell you what I miss. When I left New York, every year I would spend time at the St. Patrick's Day parade. One of my close friends at the time had this beautiful Irish setter named Patrick. What a shock. Not an Irish setter. An Irish wolfhound named Patrick. This dog was almost 7 foot on his hind legs. But every year, Patrick would lead the St. Patrick's Day parade in New York City. What a wonderful thing to see. If you've never been to a St. Patty's Day in New York, put that on your bucket list. It's pretty amazing to see that. Now, Patrick's no longer with us, but the people that had Patrick, I'm sure, will be leading the parade again today with another one of their beautiful Irish wolfhounds. By the way, Irish wolfhound, tallest breed in the world. Tallest breed in the world. They can be 7 foot on their hind legs. So, plenty of time for your questions and comments. As I said, lots of great stuff to give away. So if your cat is jumping, chewing, scratching, confused about the litter box, the new rescued dog you have can't deal with other dogs, your dog is humping everything he sees, whether it moves or not, great time to give me a call. Again, that number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. And for those people watching on YouTube, I'm at my new location, so we're decorating as we go. Behind me, you'll see some of my books. I've written 12. There's, I think, 9 or 8 behind me. And there's 2 books on the side of me. One is The Illustrated Dog's Life and The Illustrated Cat's Life. These are 2 of my favorite books. By the way, I think they're out of print. They were done by an English company many years ago. And they're the photographs in those 2 books, if you can get those online somewhere, the photographs in those 2 books are absolutely amazing. And I kind of talked about each individual photo in those books and specifically how they relate to your pets at home. So it's it's Illustrated Cat's Life for Dogs. I might still be available at some places as well. Again, the number here, 866-870-KRLA. And the question of the day. I was moody the other day. Pretty rare for me. Well, maybe Denise wouldn't agree with that, but I was moody the other day. And I got to tell you, Molly and Willie looked at me and said, knock it off, Pop. Why are you so moody? So that was my question. I said, do your pets know or react to your different moods? Do your dogs and cats react to your different moods? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. And if you get through and I talk to you, I will send you a great gift for your dog or your cat, I promise. Do your pets react to your mood? I want to know. If you're laughing hysterically, do your pets seem happy? If you're sad or crying or depressed, do your dogs or cats react to that? I want to hear from you guys. It can really help other people out there. I know, for example, in my lifetime, the ups and downs I've had, I don't think I could have gotten through half of them if it wasn't for my dogs and cats reacting to how I was reacting to the situation at the time. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me start out with a phone call right off the bat, and we are going right to James. James calling from Mississippi. We're starting out in Mississippi today. Oh, God, why isn't it's because I'm using the wrong mouse, Alex. Hey, James, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, how are you doing?
I could not be better, James. How about yourself? James, how you listening? Missouri. James, how are you listening to the show? Are you listening online?
Well, actually, I am, but I can turn it off here real quick. So
that's okay. I just want to know how you're listening. Anyway, what can I do for you in the great state?
Actually,
let me start off by just saying this.
We're in Missouri.
Show me.
Yeah, we're in Missouri.
Show me. Isn't Missouri the show me state? Did we lose you? James? Oh, James from Missouri. Come on. James, you still there? Oh, gosh. Call me back, James. James said the question was he has a rescue cat and an older cat, and they're having issues with each other, kind of a strange situation. So, James, if you can give me a call back, I definitely want to chat with you. I guess my joke didn't go over. Isn't Missouri the show me state? I think Missouri is the show me state. Hey, the number here, 866-870-KRLA. We will get to you, James. We'll get back to you in a second. Let me go to Ed in Anaheim, a little closer by. Hey, Ed, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Thank you so much for calling. Me calling, let me talk to you.
What can I...
I've got my dogs here. They're going crazy. I wanted to...
That's a... So what can I do for you? Hello, Ed. Are we losing everybody? Is it something I said today? Ed, hang up and call me back, Ed. Hang up and call me back. Don't go. We had a bad connection. So hang up, Ed. Give me a call back. The number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone. The phone's fine? Oh, so he's calling me back. So on line one, you tell me when to go to line one, Alex, and I will follow your advice. I promise. All right. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away on the show today. We'll get the phones up and working in just a second. We'll get right back to you. But again, if you want to ask me a question on YouTube, come on, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. You know, I post a lot of 1-minute segments there. So there's a lot of quick tips to help you resolve any issues you may be having with your pet. So give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. Or go to my YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, or call 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is James, line one. So we're going to go back to Hey, James, how you doing?
Just fine. Sorry we got cut off.
That's okay. What's
I was
up?
trying to tell you was we just rescued a 2-year-old Himalayan.
Well, bless you for that.
Thank you. And she's basically a replacement for our now departed 17-year-old Himalayan cat, which she had some kidney issues, and we did the right thing and had her euthanized her just after Christmas. But anyway, not an easy
thing to do, though, right?
No, it was tough. It was basically my wife's cat, and she was kind of a mess. So we found the new one, and they're almost mirror images of each other. But we also have about an 8-year-old Siamese mix cat that was another rescue. Somebody literally dumped her on the side of the road, and so my daughter found her, and we ended up with her. So anyway, right after we got the new Himalayan, the next day, she was 2 years old. She hadn't been fixed. She went into heat. As you know, they're everybody's friend then. So she was in heat for about 10 days. About a week later, we could get her into the vet, and so she's been neutered now. And
did we lose you again?
Possessive of everybody and extremely aggressive towards the other cat. So we're doing our best. We kind of started back to square one, where we put the new cat in her own little safe room, and we keep her there at night, and then we let her out during the day. And let me just stop you for a second. I want to spend as much time going over this as I possibly can. So let me do this. We're getting the phone straight. So I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to do a quick commercial break. We'll come back to you, James. Then we'll go to Ed in Anaheim. We got Robin calling in Calabasas as well. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break. Then we'll get back to all your phone calls. As I said, if you want to check out YouTube as well, you can ask me some questions on YouTube also. Again, that number 866-870-KRLA. A quick break, then right back to all of your phone calls right here on the Pet Show.
They call them Flipper. We are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick shout out to my friends Lily and Lulu. I hope you're listening to the show and having a great day as well. Hey, before I get to the phone, James, we're going to try to talk to you again in Missouri. Ed, we're going to get to you. Robin, we can't have your dog schlepping you down the block. We're going to talk about your dog as well. Before we do that, though, I want to share something I wrote this week, and I want to share it with you because it's really important to me, and it really breaks my heart. Understanding and resolving poor dog behavior is important because it's one of the most common reasons that people abandon their dogs and give them back to humane societies and shelters. In fact, some studies suggest that by the age of 1 year, a large percentage of dogs have been in 5 to 6 homes before finding their forever home. Much of this relocation is due to poor dog behavior, which can easily be resolved using some common sense and having a lot of patience as well. So people tend to give up way too soon. Thank goodness maybe they don't give up on people as quick as they give up on their pets. But so many of the dogs I've worked with over the years and have taken out of shelters and rescues and horrendous situations have turned out to be absolutely amazing. But it takes a little patience, a little time, and a little understanding. All right, again, that number, 866-870-KRLA. I'm going to try this one more time. Let me go back to James in Missouri. James, you with me this time? No.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
How far did we get?
We didn't get far, but let me start from the beginning. You have an older cat and a younger cat that aren't getting along. You have a Himalayan and a Siamese, I think it was. And basically...
The Siamese is the 8-year-old and the Himalayan is 2.
Right. You recently had to say goodbye to a 17-year-old Himalayan, and this other Himalayan is your new cat, and they're not getting along. I'm assuming that's the question. How do I get them to get along?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, have you done any type of... Well, first of all, how long has the new cat been in your home?
Not that long. We're just entering like the second month.
Okay, well, that's a pretty good amount. No, that's a good amount of time. And the fact that they're not getting along after 2 months, I wish you would have called me earlier, but let me go over what we need to do. Number one is I would go back to the beginning and do some scent swapping. When they're in separate rooms from each other, what I would do is have a stuffed animal or a towel with the scent of the opposite cat in that room with the cat. So the old cat, the older cat's scent should be with the new cat and vice versa. That's number one. Number two, I understand the need for separating them because you don't want to go crazy, but the more you separate, the more assertive and the more aggression you're going to see. So one of the things I'm going to recommend is if you can have one of the cats and your wife can have the other cat and sit on the couch for just a couple of minutes, and when they ignore each other, that's enough for that day. They've had enough for that day. The next day a little bit longer. That's step number two. And step number three is we got to get their focus off each other. Whenever a new pet comes into the household, of course, the focus of the other pet is going to be on the new pet. So how do we work with that? I want as much distraction in the home as possible, specifically with the older cat coming out to see the new cat. What does that mean? That means cardboard boxes all over the place. I mean dozens. That means paper bags all over the place. That means organic catnip and other safe organic plants all over the place. The more distraction we have, the less focus the older cat's going to have on this interloper that's taking over his house a little bit. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, and it's probably one of the most common questions I get asked. That's why in my book and online, I write an awful lot about first pet psychology, because so many of my listeners like you have more than one pet. They're introducing a new pet for whatever reason. So I want you to follow through on this. Make sure that every time you have a session, even if it's for 30 seconds, you have to end on a positive note. Cats learn through association. If they associate a positive ending, little by little, they will get to be with each other. Now, I've had as many as 27 cats at one time. So they weren't all bosom buddies, but they all accepted each other. And the way to do that is just to make sure you give them ample time to socialize, but ample time separate from each other, but make sure there's a lot of distractions around as well. It shouldn't take that long. I wish we would have started early on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, and you're going to speak to the lovely Suzette. And Suzette's going to send you a copy of my book, How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Now, there's a great chapter in there on first pet psychology, but in the interim, because the book may take a week or two to get there, go to my website, thepetshow.com, or go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. They're both absolutely free, and you can go there, and I believe there's articles on both the website and the YouTube channel, specifically on First Pet Psychology. So read those over until the book comes. It'll get you at least started, but I want you to understand the concept that there's no reason that down the road these two cats don't become good friends. The problem that so many people make is the fear of introducing them properly and keeping them separated, which obviously is going to create more mystique and more animosity, and something we have to be really conscientious about. Great call, by the way. Enjoy the book, and say hello to everyone in the great state of Missouri. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, and I'm going to get to you, Robin in Calabasas. I'm going to get to your calls as well. Now, you know, my reputation has long been kind of Mr. Hugs and Kisses. Name of my supplement, Hugs and Kisses. Name of my company, Hugs and Kisses. There are times I was walking down the streets in New York and people would point to me and say, Hugs and Kisses. I just wish the other people around me knew who I was. But Hugs and Kisses is really, really important. And I want you to understand this, okay? And here's a brand new study that came out. Hug your dog for your own good health, as well as that of your dog. A brand new study has found that spending quality time hugging your dog reduces stress and increases the power of brainwaves. That's why I'm so smart. I'm hugging animals all the time with relaxation and concentration. So for those people who say you shouldn't hug a dog, hug. It's okay if your dog likes to be hugged. Not every dog likes to be hugged, but if you have a huggy versus a hugger, go ahead and hug. It's good for you, good for your brain, good for your body. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me do this. Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll get to you, Ed. We'll get to you, Robin. I do have a couple of lines open. It's pretty rare on the Pet Show to have that. So if you have, and I'll tell you why I have that. I forgot to post that I was doing the show live today. Yes, I did, Alex. But I am doing the show live today. So if you have a question or comment, great time to call me. If you want to ask me a question on YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, or thepetshow.com. The phone number here, 866-870-5752. Again, everyone that calls, I got Hugs and Kisses back in stock, so I'll be giving Hugs and Kisses away. I'll also be giving away Kitty Lickies. Yes, Kitty Lickies back in stock. I'll be giving away copies of my best-selling books. I'll be giving away Lucy pet food, T-shirts, and those air horns as well. So great time to give me a call. If we talk, I will send you a gift, 866-870-KRLA. By the way, later on, we're going to talk about Irish dogs. Anyone out there want to give me a call and guess the name of an Irish dog or maybe an Irish cat? Give me a call. Let me know. I'll still send you a gift. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. That phone number, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. You know, it's interesting because the song that's playing in the background was one of the songs we play on Father's Day. I guess it was in the cycle the wrong way, but it made me think, and I'll tell you why it made me think. You know, I was so proud of my father, a World War II veteran, 2 Purple Hearts. As a matter of fact, you know, I've recently moved kind of most of my life to Arizona, and I just came across my father's Army shirt, and I just had it cleaned and pressed, and now it's hanging in my office, and every time I look at it, it just makes me think of him even more. Fathers, what a great bunch of men they can be. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Hey, just before I get back to the phones, I want to get to all your calls, but before I get back to the phones, we have an eclipse, a solar eclipse coming up. And every time we have one of these, I'm questioned by media all over the world. Warren, what do you think? Are dogs going to react? Are animals going to react to the eclipse? What do I do about it? So what we're going to do is a little bit later on the show, I'm going to tell you how dogs react and why dogs react to an eclipse, or do they react to an eclipse? Not all of them do. Also coming up, if you have one of those dogs that go crazy when they see a TV commercial, give me a call, let me know. We'll tell you how to resolve it as well. Let's go to the phone lines here. Let's go to my buddy Ed in Anaheim. Hi, Ed in Anaheim. Welcome to the show.
Well, how you doing, Warren?
I'm doing super. Thank you.
And I've talked to you. Oh, what's going on with the phone again?
I hear you fine.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay. I hear you fine now.
Okay.
My dog is a golden doodle, Harley. I talk to you about once a year concerning my dog, but you had mentioned about...
Is that your dog? Is that your dog panting? Is that your dog panting?
Yes, I just finished running her.
Oh, no, listen, I can tell, believe me, Warren knows the sounds of dogs. So I was hoping it wasn't you, and I was kind of hoping it was your dog. So, Guy, what's your question for me?
Anyway, my main concern I wanted to ask you is the heartworm medications, your preference. They have one that's a shot. I think it's called Pro Heart. Maybe I shouldn't say the name, but it's
No, you can say the name.
months. And there's another one called Heart Guard. It's a pill or a chewable they take once a month.
I love the sound. What kind of dog do you have, Ed?
A golden doodle, very active.
I'm saying, sounds like Cujo in the car.
She's my sweetheart. She goes everywhere I go.
Oh, great. Hey, so let me go about this. Let's talk about this heartworm medication, okay? I use the shot with my own pets, so that ought to tell you where I stand. Okay, that ought to tell you where I stand. No, that ought to tell you where I stand. But you know, heartworm is caused by mosquitoes, and what people should really understand is that there are ways to make sure, not 100%, but make sure that there's no sitting water in your backyard. If you have a bird bath, I know the birds got to drink and bathe too, but maybe you should empty it at night, or sometimes if it's hot during the. That's exactly where mosquitoes breed. Fountains, for example, a great breeding place. A bucket of water outside. So if you can really control the mosquito situation, everyone should have their dog, if their vet recommends it, with the heartworm. But again, keeping the water levels or the water in the backyard out of there can really prevent the heartworm as well. Because heartworm it can be deadly, and sometimes the treatment for heartworm, not as bad as it used to be, can be serious as well.
I understand. Thanks for that. And in reference to your statement about...
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Dog sensitivity. My dog is so sensitive. Like, when I was sick, she was very gentle with me, and she just stayed by my side, and it was just phenomenal. But when we're normal, she loves to play, and she's very happy. So I lucked out.
You know, Ed, I'm so glad you said that, Ed, because I don't talk about a lot of my personal stuff. I give you my personal stories, my personal health. There was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, where I had a pretty concerning medical issue. And I got to tell you, Molly and Willie, they were with me the entire time, and of course Denise was taking care of me excellently. But there's something about being with your dog or your cat, that gives you the ability to just be totally you. And when you're not feeling good, if for example, there were times where I was very sad or very depressed, and I know they picked up on that and they did something stupid to make me laugh. So I know exactly where you're coming from, exactly. And so I appreciate that fact. So anyway, what's your dog's name? I never even asked his name.
It's Harley.
Oh, Harley. How can I forget Harley? Anyway, I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send Harley some hugs and kisses, back in stock, by the way, on the way to you. So we'll get some hugs and kisses out to you. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA. Let me just share this with you. I'm going to get to all your phone calls. I'll blow off my topics, but I want to talk about something special going on my website, and my website only. This is the first and only time thepetshow.com is throwing a BOGO sale. I had to look up BOGO. I didn't know what it meant. But it's the first time we're doing this. A buy one, get one. That's right. Buy one Nature Vet wellness product. Get the second free only at my website, thepetshow.com. These are quality pet supplements and wellness products at insanely affordable prices. Just select 2 Nature Vet products on thepetshow.com store and enter the code BOGO at checkout to get your free item. Whether it's joint support, allergy aid, calming aids, Nature Vet has products you need. Just go to thepetshow.com. Makes them affordable. Don't forget to enter the coupon code BOGO at checkout. Good only while supplies last. And I don't know how long they're going to last, so go to thepetshow.com store today, thepetshow.com. Let me take another phone call right now. Let me go to my buddy Robin in Calabasas. Hey, Robin, welcome to the show.
Hi, this is Robin.
Hi, Robin.
The last time I talked to you was about 25 years ago, and I had a Bouvier, and you told me not to pinch his ears up. And I want you to know I'm so happy I didn't do it because we live with a lot of trees and everything. And he lived to be a very fun dog, and he had a great life. And since then, I've had a standard poodle named Deucey Doodles, and he's 12 now. And he doesn't like dog food, so yesterday I took him to In-N-Out. We each had a hamburger together, and he loved it. So he wants to eat, but he doesn't want dog food.
Okay, so it's very interesting that there are certain dogs. Have you ever tasted dog food?
No, I wouldn't even want to, you know.
Oh, I have. I've done many dog food tastes in my life on TV where I've actually tasted the dog food. I've had Regis taste dog food. I had Kathy Lee taste dog food. I have them all tasted. But the bottom line is this, okay? Dogs do not eat with their mouth. Dogs eat with their nose. So the smell of the food you're giving with them is so critical. As you know, I am a tremendous fan of Lucy Pet Food for many, many reasons, okay? Number one, it's made right here in Southern California. They have their own laboratory. I'm not going to do a commercial right now, but that's an incredible company. But more important than that, I'm going to send you some Lucy Pet Food, but listen to what I want you to do. I want you to take the Lucy Pet Food. I want you to take, I don't know, some no salt bouillon or no salt beef or chicken bouillon or whatever. And I just want you to put a little bit on the food, pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds, take it out, let it cool off, and then give it to your dog. What happens is once you heat something up, the smell is so much stronger. And as I said, the nose is more important than the mouth. They have something called the Jacobson's organ. I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but the nose is so critical in terms of getting them to eat. So heating up the food, number one.
Well, I just want you to know that for many years, I always wanted to give him kibble. He's got great teeth because of it, but I always put about maybe a half-inch chicken breast always on top of it. And so that's when he was eating really well. I would just always give him chicken with it, but it wasn't really good for his skin for some reason, so I had to stop doing it a few months ago.
Well, if you consider, I'm going to send you some Lucy Pet Food, and it should be, anytime. But in terms of the skin and coat, and first of all, poodles don't have fur. Poodles have hair. Okay, so it's a whole different ball game. So they don't shed the way other dogs would normally shed, and that's important for a lot of people to understand. However, the dry skin doesn't come from the hair or the fur. The dry skin comes from dry skin. So if the dog has dry skin, that could be part of it as well. So I want you to get on the Lucy Pet Food. I'm going to send it to you, but I also would recommend that down the road a little bit, you pick up a jar of the Hugs and Kisses supplement to compensate for that because it has lecithin and biotin in it specifically for the coat.
Okay. Is that going to give him, is there something I can give him for more energy? Because he's getting to be a little bit older, although 3 months ago he pulled me to the ground.
Well, I'm telling you, the Hugs and Kisses, you know what? You're going to buy the Lucy Pet Food. I'm going to send you a jar of the Hugs and Kisses. How's that?
Whatever you want. I don't need to, whatever. I just
No, I'm going to send you a hug for
several.
several. Number one, if he's losing energy, it will help with that. Number two, it's great for stress. Number three, it has chondroitin and glucosamate for hips and joints. So it's got my name on it. And you know how much I love animals. I would never put my name on anything other than something that I believe will really help. So I'm going to put you on hold, and what's going to happen is the lovely Suzette will pick up, and a jar of hugs and kisses on its way to you. But I also want you to switch to the Lucy pet food for many reasons. Number one, just the issue that it's made right here in Southern California, and we know exactly where it's made. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. I will get to you, Karen in Huntington Beach. I will get to you, Pat in Duarte. I do have an open line or two. Great time to give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. Also, if you want to see the face, and we're kind of decorating my new location, so if you want to see the face as I do the show, log on. We're broadcasting live right now on YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. You should subscribe to that anyway. It's free. And honestly, I share information there almost every day. Some of them are 1-minute tips. Some of them just commented that, Warren, I just watched you on the Mickey Mouse Club. Yeah, the videos there, me doing the Mickey Mouse Club. So you should subscribe to the pet Warren Eckstein on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let me do this. Let me take a break. When we come back, we're going to get you Pat. We'll get to Karen. Again, that number, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. By the way, I still have more hugs and kisses to give away. I still have lots of Lucy pet food to give away. Kitty lickies for the cats, and cats go crazy for kitty lickies. Copies of my best-selling books. T-shirts, those air horns that everyone should have one of those air horns. If you walk a dog, if you have a dog, you should have one of those air horns when you take a walk. Now, I'm spending a lot of time in Arizona. We have coyotes in Arizona too, And so whenever I take Molly and Willie out for a walk, there's an air horn always in my hand, just in case. And not just for coyotes, but, there are bobcats and other animals around as well. The number here, 866-870-KRLA. A quick break, then right back to all of your phone calls. Well, everyone afraid to answer my question? Do your pets react to your mood? If you're in a bad mood, do your dogs and cats let you know? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. But right now, And we are back on the Pet Show. The phones are getting all jammed up. I'm going to get to all your calls. I promise I'll blow off my topics. We got a whole hour and a half to go. Pat will get to you, Karen, Keith, Marina, Robin. But right now, I didn't get to this last week, and I want to get to it because someone called me out on it. What does baseball and your favorite feline have in common? I'm going to read this directly from a sheet I put together. You're sitting down, and your cat comes sauntering up to you, purring, and then immediately headbutts you. What gives? Your cat is bunting. Animals will bunt for a variety of reasons, but cats do it to either mark a person or other animal with their scent. Same bunting appears to be social, affectionate behavior, and sometimes is done to get attention. Now, the word bunt goes back to the 1500s, where it was a dialect term used in England that meant to butt with the head. You're probably more familiar with a bunt as a baseball term to refer to the pushing or tapping a baseball lightly without swinging the bat. The baseball bunt is directly descendant of the head bunting butt that your cat gives you on a regular basis. See? Where else would you know that? Nowhere. Let me take a quick call here. Let's go to Duarte and Pat. Hey, Pat, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
Warren?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm the grandmother of one rag dog and the great-grandma of two rag dogs.
I love ragdoll cats. They're amazing cats. So what's your question?
Well, my question is Gus, my grandson. We have a terrible time trying to clip his nails.
Yeah, is there anybody out there whose cat or dog likes to have their nails clipped? I'd love to hear from you because I haven't met you yet. One of the things to do is there's a lot of dogs and cats that are not thrilled about having their nails clipped. I met a few in my life that have really liked it, but that's pretty rare. What we want to do is as soon as that nail clipper comes out, your daughter's cat is going to react to it. So what I would do is keep that out more often. Put it down along the food dish. Don't make any noise and then put it away. What I would do is have your daughter massaging the cat's feet on a regular basis so she gets used to the feet being touched. Then what I would do is maybe a week or two down the road is do some fake nail clipping. Take the clipper, make believe you're clipping a nail, but you're not clipping it, and then let the cat go. Once the cat associates the nail clipper with not something that she's associated negative in the past, then you should be able to clip her nails. But I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to say I'm yet, but they're very rare for a dog or a cat to accept having their nails clipped. Some do. So massaging the feet's real important, number one. Putting the nail clipper out so the cat gets used to it at other times when it's not being used to clip the nail, and at the same time massaging the cat's feet. And when you do get to the point where you're going to clip the nails, just clip one nail at a time. That's enough, and little by little you'll get down to the end of it. But I got to tell you, at no point is that cat going to come up to your daughter and say, "Hey, please clip my nails." They're not thrilled to do it. Anyway, Pat, don't go in. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you a copy of the cat book. There's a whole chapter in there on clipping your cat's nails as well. I do have some of that on my YouTube channel as well. Great call, by the way. Who? What now? Oh, you're. Well, some tolerate it, but a lot of cats just don't like it. It's something about having their feet held. Dogs and cats do not like to have their feet held. It kind of makes them a little crazy. Just about your cats. Well, your cats are crazy because they live with you. Hey, by the way, Alex, who wrote on my screen? Warren. I don't know why, but I'm craving hugs and kisses. Suzette, I know you're hungry. I know I'm not there to bring donuts. Hugs and kisses for the dog, not for you. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me take a quick break here, and then we'll get back to all of your phone calls. 866-870-KRLA. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. We are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Let me do this. All right. We got a break in a minute or two. I don't want to rush anyone. So here's the bottom line. Karen, Keith, Marina, and Robin. You will be my first 4 calls when we come back after our break for the top of the hour. I got great gifts waiting for you. Got great calls coming in. I want to speak to Marina about her dog, O'Grady. I guess the dog's name is Grady. Oh, everyone's O something on St. Patrick's Day. Also want to talk to Robin as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll get to all your calls, I promise. I wanted to talk about this for a second or two, okay? What is LIMA? You heard me at the opening. Hopefully you heard me at the opening of the show. What does LIMA stand for? This is types of training, and there's many different types of training. This is one specific type that I can actually endorse, and let me tell you why. Listen to me carefully. LIMA, L-I-M-A, stands for Least Intrusive, Minimally Aversive. It's an acronym meant to depict a model to which dog trainers who are committed to using the least intrusive and minimally aversive methods may adhere to. Choosing a dog trainer committed to LIMA is important considering the many negative effects associated with the use of aversive dog training techniques. So keep that word in the back of your head. LIMA, L-I-M-A, LIMA. It simply means the least intrusive, minimally aversive. L-I-M-A, LIMA. Remember that. And if you're talking to dog trainers or interviewing dog trainers for your dog, make sure that's the approach they take. And just remember, if it sounds abusive, if it looks abusive, if it smells abusive, chances are it is abusive. Training your dog should be a positive experience for you, the entire family, but most importantly, for your pet. Again, the number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then back to all your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein, and you're listening to The Pet Show. And if you love animals, you have come to the right place. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. This is where we help you resolve any issues that you may be having with your dogs or cats, or more likely any issues that your dogs or cats may be having with you. We'll try to resolve any issues you may be having. So if you have a question or comment, great time to give me a call. The phone number here at The Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. And if you get through and we talk live, a great gift will be on its way for your buddy. Let me get back to the phone lines here. Some great calls coming in, really interesting calls coming in. We got Karen, Keith, Marina, Robin, Margaret. So let me just take you guys pretty much in order. So let's go to Karen first in Huntington Beach. Hey, Karen, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Thanks for taking my call.
It's my pleasure. What's up?
We rescued a black lab in November from the Pomona Humane Society. She's very, very sweet. She has a little bit of pit bull in her. She settled in fine. Started a new behavior about a month ago. We walk her in our neighborhood, and a dog isn't in sight, but she starts whining and goes to the back of either myself or my husband. And we're not sure what it's about, and the behavior just happened today when I took her to Central Park, and I don't know.
So let me ask you a question. You adopted the dog. She's how old now?
We're almost 2 years old.
And you adopted her how long ago?
We rescued her in November.
Okay. And how many homes, do you know anything about her prior?
We believe she may have been a street dog. We rescued her from the Humane Society.
Okay, that makes perfect sense to me, because what you're telling me is a dog that is going behind their guardian when they hear, see, smell another dog is indicative of a street dog that might have been either attacked or harassed by other dogs. So what they've done is they've kind of taken you on as their protector. So how do we resolve this issue? What I'd like to do, does she get along with other dogs at all?
She's very submissive.
Okay, so that proves my point. So the best way to resolve that, if you have some friends or relatives that you know in the neighborhood that have relatively calm dogs, the more time you spend outside, the more time she realizes that being around other dogs is not a negative experience, the faster she'll come around. See, dogs learn through association. So, for example, she might have had a time maybe years ago or a year and a half, whatever it was, where she had horrible experiences with other dogs coming after her, and her only protection was either hiding, and that's exactly what she's doing right now. And the fact that she's submissive is just indicative of exactly what I'm saying. So, number one, we would build up her confidence a little bit. Have you done any training with the dog at all?
My husband bought your book.
Oh, great. He's ahead of the game. Tell him to follow through on the training. Even though the training isn't necessarily the specific resolution for your situation, what training does is it really builds up the dog's confidence. Like a kid who gets good grades in school, it builds up their confidence. So if the dog's hearing, good boy, yeah, that's going to be different. So let's do some of that basic training on a regular basis. Now, again, spending more time with mellower dogs, I think that would be beneficial as well. Now, the other thing with the training that's critical is if the dog is showing a little fear when you're taking him for a walk and he gets behind you, that's a good time to do some basic training with the dog. Sit, stay, come, whatever. Again, that's something he knows in a positive way and has received a lot of positive attention for. So it's kind of like a way of counter-conditioning the negativity and increasing the positivity. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, perfect sense. Perfect sense.
Every once in a while I do, Karen. Not too often, but every once. So let me ask you a question. What did you say your dog's name was?
Millie. We named her after my mom, who was a dog lover.
There you go. So does Millie react to you and your husband's moods? If you're in different moods, do you find that Millie reacts?
Well, it's interesting. My husband was recently sick, and Millie would not leave his side.
There you go.
Yeah.
If only humans can have the loyalty of animals, huh? What a world this would be. A great call, by the way. Now, in terms of hiding in your back, we know what we want to do right now. Do the basics. Call me back if you have to, but I think if you follow through on the advice I gave you and your husband bought the book, maybe the next step is to read the book.
It's right by his bedside. We're right in the bedroom. It's right by his bedside.
It's right, I'm telling you, my book is read more bedside or bathroom side than any other book in America. It's just the way it is. Anyway, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you for your dog. You know what? I'm going to send you some hugs and kisses for Millie on its way to you, and I appreciate that phone call. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm just going to go down the list, and then I'm going to give you some tips. Anybody have a dog out there that goes crazy when he sees a dog or a cat on TV or another animal? We're going to talk about that in a bit, too. But right now, let's go to Keith in Palmdale. Hi, Keith. How are you? Hey, Keith. Oh, I didn't play. Hey, Keith. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, so we have a cat now, even though we've never liked cats at all, ever. He's a little boy, he's 20 pounds, and we took him camping.
You have a 20-pound cat? 20-pound cat?
Yeah.
That's not little. That's not little.
Well, we've never owned a cat. It is kind of strange. You know, we've never owned a cat before.
Well, first of all, let me stop you. Keith, you do not own a cat. They own you, and they allow you to stay in their home. So let's get that right off the bat, okay?
We have found that out now that we have a cat. But everybody points out immediately that he's a tiger, a miniature tiger, or whatever, but he's not fat. What we've been told it is part Maine Coon is why he's so big, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, Maine Coon cat's the largest everywhere.
Am I breaking up?
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so we take him everywhere. We take him shopping, breakfast, dinners, lunch, camping. So we took him to the Colorado River a few months ago, and I take him swimming in the river and playing in the river and stuff. And then I read online the other day that the dogs that are going to the Colorado River are getting this worm, and it infects them. And so I'm wondering, they didn't say anything. They said dogs and horses and something else get this infection. So now that I saw that, now he did throw up the other day, and he's not losing weight. He's still about 20 pounds. But his mood has changed a little bit. So do you know anything about that worm that the dogs
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a flat-type worm. The street worm is the fluke flatworm or the fluke worm, but you got me. I know it can be dangerous for dogs. I'm not sure about cats. I'm really not. I'm assuming it probably is, but I'm looking as I'm talking. I'm trying to do some research myself here, and I don't see anything that says that it can respond in terms of cats. But what I would do, if you notice that your cat has changed its behavior a little bit at all, I would definitely check with the vet right away just to make sure. But I don't see anything that's saying cats specifically. I just don't know. I know horse, I know dog in terms of the way it affects, but I don't know if the flatworm or the fluke worm or the flatworm affects cats the same way. I really don't know.
So I guess the best, I'm going to follow him around when he goes in the yard. I guess collect, after he leaves us a little sample and stuff, and I'll collect that and take that to the vet.
Even before you do that, but even before you do that, do some research. Call the vet and say, hey, vet, we had the cat down by the Colorado River. I understand there's a fluke flatworm there. Is it dangerous to cats? Is it something I should be concerned about? I've noticed some changes in the cat's behavior, and then the vet's either going to say, well, bring the cat in, or don't worry about it. It doesn't affect cats, because I'm really not sure if it affects cats or not. I'm assuming it probably does, but I'm not positive, so I don't want to give a definitive answer on that. But that's the way I would approach it at this point.
All right. And you want to, since we've never had cats before, but he's kind of an amazing cat. He's really a world-famous cat now. We take him everywhere. And the other day we went to breakfast at Jack in the Box, and here's how this cat affects everybody. So what I do, I go through the drive-thru, I get the food, then I carry him and the food into Jack in the Box. I sit him down on a chair. And there's a family with 3 kids. One of the kids is in the wheelchair, the high chair. And so the little kid, she just points at the cat. Then the other little kid turns around and sees the cat. Then the other kids tell him, Mom, there's a cat. And they're all staring at the cat that's inside the restaurant with him. And so then I walk by to go get some more drink, and then I hear the little girl tell her dad, I want to go pet the cat. As I walk by, then I stop. I turn around, and he goes, well, you better ask him. I said, yeah, he likes everybody. I mean, everybody picks him up and hugs him. So he brought the kids over, and then he's sitting on the chair. So there are 2 little kids, and he's got 5 kids swarming around him in his chair as he sits there, as he lets all the kids.
Well, you know what, Keith, you're gonna get him his own 8x10 autograph pictures and start giving them out. I'm telling you, this cat sounds like he's becoming the hit of the neighborhood. Anyway, I got to move on, but let me do this. I want to, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you some kitty lickies from my good friends over at Lucy Pet for your cat. Great call, by the way, but I do want you to check in. If you want to call me back, please feel free or send me an email. Or anybody out there maybe knows. I'm just not sure, and I never answer a question, and there's not too many questions I can't answer, but I'm not sure in terms of the fluke or flatworm in the Colorado River and its effectiveness on cats. I do know the effectiveness on dogs. Hey, the number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me go next to Marina. Hi, Marina. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, it's my pleasure. What can I do for you?
I was just calling about, you were asking about Irish dogs.
Yeah.
But my dog, he's not Irish. He's born on St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, and tomorrow's his birthday, and his name is O'Grady.
Is that his real name?
Yes. It's on his tag.
O'Grady. What made you decide on naming your dog O'Grady?
Well, he was born on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, he was born on St. Patrick's Day. Oh, so
yeah.
It's his real birthday.
Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's his birthday,
O'Grady, yeah.
He's a 9-year-old Great Dane.
Well, hardly Irish. But anyway, let me send him something for his birthday. I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send him some Lucy pet food for his birthday. But speaking about Irish breeds, let's take a quick look, and then we'll go to Robin, Jim, and Margaret. I got a line or two open now, so let's 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. So here are the 9 breeds of Irish dogs, okay? And you might say, hey, Warren, why aren't you talking about cats? And I'll tell you why in a second. But here are the 9 Irish dog breeds on the day before St. Paddy's Day. Obviously, the Irish Wolfhound, the Kerry Beagle. How many people have heard of a Kerry Beagle out there? You have the Irish Terrier, one of my favorite dogs in the whole wide world. The Kerry Blue Terrier, the soft-coated Wheaton Terrier, another dog that became popular over the last few years, the Glen of Amal Terrier. The Irish Setter, we all know the beautiful red Irish Setter, but there's another Irish Setter as well, and it's the Irish Red and White Setter, which is a little bit different than the Irish Setter that we all know from red. There's the Irish Water Spaniel, which, by the way, a great dog if you have allergies, because the Irish Water Spaniel also has hair versus fur, and a relatively new Irish dog, not recognized as an Irish breed yet, but it's called the Irish Doodle. What a shock. The Irish Doodle developed between an Irish Setter and a poodle. So those are your Irish breeds. So what about Irish cats? You might be saying, Warren, you're neglecting Irish cats. No, I'm not neglecting Irish cats. There are really no Irish cats other than the closest thing we have to an Irish cat is the Manx, or the cat from the Isle of Man, which has a little bit of a bobtail. Some have tails that are longer than the other. People might argue with me about terms of Irish cats, but as far as I know, the only true Irish cat is in fact the Manx. Great time to give me a call. We're going to get to Margaret. We're going to get to Robin. We're going to get to Jim. I do have an open line or two. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, and then right back to your phone calls as I move my papers around here. And once again, we're going to talk about Lucy Pet Food. And you might be saying, Warren, why? And I'll tell you why. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. I have an open line. The phone number 866-870-KRLA. I still got some hugs and kisses to give away. Copies of my book, Lucy Pet Food. Air horns. I'm telling you guys, get those air horns. I think they're like $8 on my website. Go to thepetshow.com. I'm telling you, those air horns are so critical. Everyone I've given an air horn to, everyone I know who's used an air horn, I said, Warren, you know what? I only used it once, but that one time it made all the difference in the world. So check out the air horns. I think they're like $7 or $8. Don't hold me to that. Go to the website, thepetshow.com. That's my website. Check it out there. But if you walk your dog or and you're afraid of stray dogs or coyotes or stray people, having one of those air horns can make all the difference in the world. Again, the number here, 866-870-5752. Broadcasting from my new studio in Arizona. We're decorating as we go. Those books behind me, those are all my books, by the way, and the ones you can't read, the ones in Italian, ones in Japanese, but they took my pictures out of the Japanese book and they put in a little stickman. I don't know why they did that, but I guess they did. 866-870-5752. We're going to get to you, Robin, in just a second. I'm definitely going to get to you, Jim in Torrance, and I'm definitely going to get to you, Margaret, as well. So great time to give me a call. But before we do that, you know, every week, or just about every week, I get a call from someone who says, Warren, I'm sitting down, I'm watching television, and for some reason, a dog or a cat or a bird or whatever animal, a horse comes on TV, my dogs go crazy. Why is that? What can I do about it? Well, let's talk about it. Dogs relate to TV screens much differently than you and I do. Rather than passively staring at the screen, what dogs are seeking is actual interaction with the screen. Make sense? Indeed, dogs don't just want to stay in front of the images. Rather, they act as an interactive spectators who approach the screen to get a better view, sniff, and bark in reaction to the stimuli, and switch their attention between the screen and their family sitting on the couch. So the difference is you're passively watching another animal on the screen, but your dog is actually, and in some cases cats, want to interact with that dog on the screen. Bottom line is, that's why. And now you know. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. If you have a problem with it, let me know. If not, just change the channel. 866-870-5752. Let me go right to Robin in Torrance. Hey, Robin in Torrance, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. It's nice to talk to you.
Well, nice to talk with you. How can I help you today, Robin?
Well, I have a little Chihuahua. Her name is Kitty.
You named the Chihuahua Kitty?
Yes, we named her Kitty because when we got her, she was so small that the only harness that would fit on her was one for kittens.
Really? God,
so
she must be adorable.
She's kind of the size of a little kitten, and we named her Kitty. And she loves to groom herself, so sometimes I call her Kitty Licky.
There you go, Kitty Licky, except Kitty Lickies are for cats,
yeah.
for Chihuahuas.
Anyway, she broke her leg about 4 months ago, and she's still healing.
Yeah.
And the other leg, her other front leg, has arthritis in it. So I went to your website, and I bought some Arthur-Soothe Gold to give her.
Yeah.
And I wanted to buy some hugs and kisses at the same time, but you were all out at that time.
Well, we're back. We're back.
Yes, I know. So I was wondering, can I give her hugs and kisses?
Absolutely at the same time. And eventually you can cut back on the Arthur-Soothe Gold and just stick with the hugs and kisses. Number one, hugs and kisses has both chondroitin and glucosamine in it. But the difference and the reason that you stay on the hugs and kisses is it has the lecithin and biotin for skin and coat. It has probiotics and prebiotics. So it's an overall total thing for your dog. So you can use both for now, but when you run out of the Arthur-Soothe Gold, then what you can do is you can definitely get her on just the hugs and kisses. That'd be perfect for her.
Oh, great. Okay.
So as a matter of fact,
well,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you a jar of hugs and kisses for Kitty, your little Chihuahua. And speaking of Authors with Gold, listen, if you and this, I don't know how much longer this is going to last, but if you go to my website, thepetshow.com, and you order any of the products that are manufactured by NatureVet products only, it's the first and only time on my website that we're having a BOGO sale. So if you buy any NatureVet product, you get the next one absolutely free while supplies last only. So don't wait. Check out the products, the NatureVet products, on my website, thepetshow.com, today. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Interesting show today. Oh, it happened again? It did. How many people out there have spent money and had their dog's DNA tested? And it came back saying the dog is part this and part that. Well, here we go again. For the second time, the results from a DNA my dog linked dog breeds to a human sample. The company reported back that Hager, a reporter for a newspaper, second time around, a human reporter, a woman who walks upright, not a dog, not a cat, a person. She sent her own DNA to be analyzed to the same organization that analyzes dogs' DNA, and it came back that this woman was 40% Alaskan Malamute, 35% Shar-Pei, and 25% Labrador. I don't know what that says, but it kind of scares me about some of those DNA results. All right, let me take another phone call right now. Let's go to where are we going here? Let's go to Margaret. Then we got Jim. Let's go to Hey, Margaret in Wrightwood. Welcome to the show. Hey, Margaret, welcome back. What's up?
Thank you for taking my call. I'm having a lot of trouble with my collie trying to go upstairs, or he won't jump in the car. I tried a ramp. I tried everything.
How old is your collie, Margaret?
He's 3 now.
And are there any problems that you know about, arthritic problems or hip problems, any problems whatsoever that you're aware of?
No, I mean, he's real active. He jumped up in the air higher than the...
Well, how old, what's your dog's name?
Buchanan.
And how old was he when you got him?
I got him when he was 10 weeks old.
10 weeks old, and nothing at all? He has no negative experiences with getting in a car at all?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, well, you got him at 10 weeks old, so I can't imagine he had too much experience getting in a car, other than maybe being separated from his litter mates when you took him. The best way
he came from 10 pups.
Yeah, so there was a lot of socializing there. Yeah, so that could be indicative of part of the situation with the car. But the fact that he's not going up and down and other things as well, that has me a little concerned. What I would do, number one, right off the bat, is I'm sure you've gotten a clean bill of health from your veterinarian, so therefore I'm assuming the dog is in good health with the hips and the joints. Some dogs, maybe he fell down when he was a puppy. Maybe something happened. In terms of getting him in the car, what I would do is I would just take whatever type of ramp you ultimately want to use and just lay it on the floor, flat on the floor. Put his food on it, just flat on the floor. Let him get it used to walking on a flat surface. Then what you can do is maybe take a piece of cardboard roller from maybe a paper or towel and put it at the end. So now you got it lifted a little bit. Make sure it's non-skid. You have to teach him to walk on that ramp. But what's concerning me more is, why is he afraid to jump or get up? You say he's very active, so that it says to me that it's probably
he jumps. He jumps up in the air.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It says to me it's probably more psychological than it is physiological. Let me do this. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold. We'll come back to you in just a second. I got to take a quick break here, and then we'll get right back to your phone calls. And don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you, Bonnie. We're going to get to you, Jim. Jim, you're going to be up next anyway, so we'll get to you and then Bonnie as well. But right now, please listen to me carefully. And we are back on the Pet Show. Let me go right back to Margaret. Hey, Margaret, you still with me?
Hello?
Yeah, Margaret, you still with me?
Yes.
Okay, so listen, here's what I want you to do, okay? Number one, it sounds to me, from what you're telling me, that the dog is active all the time. It's just a matter of going up on places that may be freaking him out a little bit. So it occurs to me...
he looks through the stairs, and that stops him. Now, he has gone up when it snowed, but that was, like a ramp. And he was right behind me, and I didn't know it.
So, yeah, but
He went down.
Well, was that the first time he went down and he's been scared since then?
No, he's been scared from the very beginning.
Okay, so yeah, follow my advice. We have to build it up gradually, get him comfortable walking on whatever type of ramp we're going to use, maybe put carpeting on it, keep it at a flat level, increase it gradually. My gut reaction is not only that time that he fell, but there must have been another time where he was either handled roughly or fell off something after he got up on it. There's usually some reason for it. The way to counter act this is literally getting him up on low places and just increasing it a little bit gradually over a period of months till we build up that confidence level again. It's not going to happen overnight. Make sure you give him a lot of praise, a lot of positives, and if he doesn't want to go, that's okay. Work on it the next day. Don't force the situation. No flooding at this point. Little by little, I promise he will come around.
Okay.
All right, give it a shot. I'm sure it's going to work for you. I know you spoke to me not long ago, so I sent you something. So I will donate that to a rescue group, and I do appreciate that phone call. I was going to talk about, I want to get to Jim and I want to get to Bonnie. I definitely get to your two calls, so don't go anywhere. There's an eclipse coming up. I mean, maybe I'll hold off till next week. I think we still have time. I think the eclipse is in April. I'm not positive, but there are certain times that dogs and other animals can become really anxious. So has anyone out there had experience with an eclipse in the past in their animals? We'll talk about that. I think we'll talk about that next week. I'll hold off on that till next week simply because I think that we have more time to do that, and I'd rather get more time spending answering your question. By the way, I do have a couple of open lines, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-575. They're getting used to this new area. It's kind of like the microphone's here, the lights here, the papers are over here. All right, let's do this. Let's go to Bonnie. Let's go to Jim first, then we're going to go to you, Bonnie, because Jim's been holding on long. So let's go to Jim in Torrance. Hey, Jim, welcome to the Pet Show.
Thank you, Warren. Thanks for taking my call. Got a couple of questions. The first one is about house training our new puppy. I guess it's still a puppy. It's about 6 months old. It's an Australian Shepherd. It's a female. We're trying to get it house trained because it pees in the house. We've got all the rugs rolled up. We've got wooden floors, and we've got pee pads all over the place. And we're trying
let me ask you a question, Jim. First of all, you have an Australian Shepherd, which means I'm surprised the dog didn't call me and ask me questions about you. That's how smart they are. That's number one. Number two is that if you ultimately want the dog to pee outside, which I'm assuming you do?
Yes.
Why are you putting down pads and teaching him to pee inside?
Because she'll pee all over the floor if we don't.
I understand that. Let's not give her that opportunity. Let's confine her, watch her, no in between. But by every time you put down a pad and every time she pees in the house, you're just setting it back further and further, making it more difficult for the ultimate goal of having her totally housebroken. So the way to do that, when you're trying to housebreak a dog, it's really simple. There's not a dog in America that's healthy that can't be housebroken in 12 to 14 days if their guardians follow my advice. And here's how you need to do it. The dog you have a schedule. The dog's 6 months old, so she's kind of a little older not to be housebroken already, but that's okay. It's still young. What I want you to do...
4 months.
Oh, okay. Where was she before that?
It was at a breeder and kept in a cage. And,
okay, so that's another thing. So therefore the dog was kept in a cage, probably not cleaned out thoroughly. Therefore the dog became accustomed to having its own mess with it, which makes it a little bit more difficult, however, not impossible. So follow my advice here really, really closely. Number one, what I want you to do is clean up the entire house with a good stain and odor remover made specifically for animals, something with enzymes. You don't want to use any of the products under the counter. They all contain ammonia, and so does urine. So clean up with a good product. If you don't remember where she went, you can get one of those black lights that we all had in the 70s, and you can either shine it at night and it will show you any spot. So clean up the entire house thoroughly. If the dog has favorite spots where she's peeing, I want you to spend more time with the dog in those areas. But the bottom line is this. What you need to do right now is not give the dog the opportunity, because if she pees somewhere, she can go somewhere else. Is she peeing near her bed or near her food dish?
No.
Okay, so we're ahead of the game already. So what we're going to do is we're going to confine the dog or watch the dog, no in between. If you cannot watch the dog with a hawk eye, she's to be confined. Now, confinement, I don't mean a cage. I don't mean a crate. You can kind of put a gate up in the kitchen, because if she does have an accident, generally the kitchen floor is the easiest to clean up. So that's number one. We're going to gate her off when you can't watch her with a hawk eye. When you can watch her with a hawk eye, obviously, if you see her starting to go, take her outside. The other thing that's critical is, do you have any type of specific schedule for food or watering, or is it left down all the time?
Well, usually the morning walk, and then she gets fed. And we've also got 7 cats, so she thinks the cats.
Now you bring that up. Now all of a sudden you bring up, oh, Warren. By the way, we have 7 cats living with the dog in the household. Well, that could be another reason why. You know, she grew up with, she had a lot of puppies in the litter. There were 10 in the litter. There are cats in the house. There are litter boxes in the house, which means there's urine smells in the house. What's good for the goose, or good for the calico in this case, is good for me as well. So it's very, very possible she's picking up on the urine smell from the cats and saying, okay, this is an area that I have to be territorial and claim as well. So I want you to still follow my advice. Confine or watch. Keep the litter box as clean as you possibly can. I'm assuming the cats are all using the litter box. The cats are not peeing outside the litter box?
Some go outside, some go in the litter box.
So some are going, when you say outside, not, they're not peeing in other rooms, they're peeing outside?
No, they don't, no.
Okay, so first of all, and I'm also not a big fan of that, because what they do is they're bringing other scents in the house. There's a lot of territorial issues going on here. But here's the bottom line. Confine or watch, no in between. If we can go 12 or 13 days without the dog having an accident, we're ahead of the game. Do you have any idea when she generally pees or generally poops?
You know, by coincidence, what you mentioned earlier, it seems when we put a new pad down, that's when she goes.
Of
right
course,
on the
because
new
those pads, first of all, the pads, they're called the wee-wee pads. They were invented by a friend of mine who's no longer with us. His name was Alan Simon. He owned a company called Paws, and he introduced the wee-wee pads, and they do have scents in them. I'm not a fan of them unless we have no option. In some cases, we don't. What I want you to do is, again, follow my advice, confine or watch, clean up all the areas, don't give the dog the opportunity in terms of understanding a 6-month-old dog. When they wake up, they have to pee. When they go for a walk, they have to pee. After exercise, they have to pee. So those are all times that you have to know that this is a time for me to get the dog out. And when you take the dog out and she does eliminate outside, you should be singing the Irish jig and dancing at the same time, letting her know how good she did it. Also, some good basic training comes into play here. But I want you to understand that housebreaking should be no big deal. A little bit more difficult. You have a lot of cats in the house. It's not going to be that easy with a 6-month-old puppy, but if you're consistent, we can get this done in 12 to 14 days. So confine or watch. Also, if she's not peeing where her food is, maybe you should take her. Mom, we're not going to go there yet. You'll call me back in a couple of weeks if we have to go further. What I'm going to do at this point, I want you to follow the advice I gave you. I'm actually going to put you on hold at this point. Oh, no, digging in the yard's another problem. Let me do this. Let me put you on hold, and let me take a break. And when we come back, we'll handle the digging. So we got the peeing, and now we'll handle the digging. Don't go anywhere. Bonnie and Edith will get to your calls as well. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. I'm going to get right back to you, Jim. I see that Bobby wrote on my YouTube channel. Bobby wrote that he looked at my YouTube channel. Nothing seems to, he has a dog that's having horrible skin infection. He doesn't know what the dog's allergic to. So, Bobby, here's my advice to you, Bobby, right off the bat. You need to have an allergy test. You need to go to a veterinary dermatologist or your regular veterinarian, and what they do is an allergy test. Let them find out specifically what the dog is allergic to and treat accordingly. Going back and forth and back and forth could be food, could be something outside, could be for any number of things. So I think in your case, speak to your vet. You may want to see a dermatologist and have an allergy test as well. All right, just before that last break, we were speaking to my friend Jim in Torrance, who has has a puppy that's 6 months old, an Australian Shepherd, and we talked a little bit about house training. I want you to follow my advice, but also digging. When he digs outside, do you see him digging out there, Jim?
Yeah, well, sometimes we'll catch her digging.
And what do you do? What do you do at that point?
Just tell her to stop. Say no.
Oh, knock it off. Knock it, and Jim, knock it off. Let me tell you. Digging for attention. Dogs seek attention naturally. Any behavioral can become attention-seeking behavior if the dog learns that it provokes a reaction. Negative or positive doesn't mean anything. Now, here's the deal. Dogs dig for many different reasons. Number one, for coolness. Main thing you need to understand when you're dealing with a puppy is never get frustrated. Your frustration is never going to resolve, or anyone's frustration is never going to resolve a behavioral issue. It's only going to make it worse. So have a glass of wine if you have to. Keep patient. Keep at it. And I promise you, in a month or so, you'll be calling me back saying, hey, Warren, this dog is absolutely, positively, no doubt about it, amazing. Australian Shepherd, an interesting breed, very bright. I told you, I think I've told this 1,000 times, the first Australian Shepherd that got its obedience title in the United States, that title was given by me. I was judging at that point. So an amazing dog. But I want you to follow through, Jim. Follow the book. It'll give you a lot of great advice. And hopefully, I know you're going to call me back in a few weeks and let me know how incredible the dog is. But just remember, sometimes the more intelligent a dog is, sometimes the more they question training. So never get frustrated. Just be consistent. A lot of praise, a lot of positive, and don't focus on the negatives. Don't focus on the digging. Focus on when he's just hanging around being a good dog, just sleeping, or he's lying down watching TV with you. We spend more time correcting our dogs than we do just telling them how good they are when they're being good, and that can make the difference. So a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want is on its way to you, and I appreciate that phone call. Let me take a break. When we come back, we're going to get to you, Bonnie, in Newport Beach. We're also with an Australian Shepherd, and we have a dog in Beaumont that goes absolutely bananas when it sees strangers. We can't have that. So we'll get to all your calls. Let me take a quick break right now, and this is an important break, and I'll tell you why it's an important break, because And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Just a reminder, you know by now that if I don't get to your calls, I run out of time. Right after I get off the air here at 1 o'clock, I start my international show on Radio America. It's the same type of show. I give away the same type of gifts. Let me give you that number in case I run out of time and I don't get to your call. Or let's say you're busy, you're driving around, you're pumping gas. Write this number down. You can start calling at 1 o'clock. But remember, be patient. This call goes into Radio America and Armed Forces Radio in Washington, D.C. So be patient. But you can start calling at 1 o'clock. Write this number down, but not before 1. 877-725-8255. 877-725-8255. And usually my California callers are up first because the show starts at 5 minutes after. So if you start calling at 1, you're way ahead of the rest of the country and Canada as well. So that's 877-725-8255. Let's see if we can help out Bonnie here. Hey, Bonnie, welcome to the show. Hello, Bonnie. Oh, Bonnie.
Bonnie handed me the phone. So we have a 11-year-old Australian Shepherd who is very active and generally very healthy, but she seems to be a little anxious and licks her paws incessantly. And so I'm wondering if there's anything.
Is it the bottom of the paws or the bottom of the paws or the top of the paws?
Oh, it's kind of the bottom, the top. If I put my arm over her paws, she'll start licking my arm.
Yeah, I'm assuming you've been to the vet, so it sounds to me if it's not an allergy or not a veterinary issue, when a dog is excessively licking at any one part or several parts of their body, usually it's behavioral. Now, you said the dog's 11 years old. Have there been any major changes in your lifestyle or the dog's lifestyle since then? Somebody move in, divorce, new boyfriend, new girlfriend, new furniture, anything?
No. The dog's very active, very bright. People think she's a puppy, and it's just that, when she's laying around, she starts licking her paws.
Well, then what I would try to do is you have to try to increase. If in fact you've been to the vet and it's not an allergy, then you need to increase the mental stimulation, because the licking of the paws can become a really, really bad habit, developing into sores and granulomas. So the licking of the paws generally is indicative of either something outside that's not agreeing with them or some type of allergy. But in many, many cases, especially with an incredibly bright dog like an Aussie, that's very possible that at 11 years old, things are changing. Maybe she's slowing down mentally a little bit. We don't know. There is Alzheimer's with dogs as well. I would try to increase the activity, not in terms of speed, but in terms of familiarity and how often you do it. Now, you sure you got a clean bill of health from the vet?
Yes. Yep. He had
the vet said no allergies.
Correct.
Increase the mental stimulation. That's what you need to do. Take it to different places. Take it to different. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if I could keep up with her.
Well, try your best to keep up with yourself, but that's what you need at this point. Anyway, don't go in there. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm sending you some hugs. I'm sorry I'm out of time, but if you want, you can call me on the other show, or I'm going to send you some hugs and kisses for your dog as well. Edith, call me on the other show. Everyone out there starts in about a minute or two. Write this number down, 877-725-8255. As I said, the same type of show. I give away the same gifts. Until next week. Whew. You all know what to do by now. Give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, one right between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you again for listening to The Pet Show.